guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna do this makeup look, which I believe you guys are gonna love it because this is actually a recreation of MakeupbyAlinna's makeup look. So without further ado, let's dig right into the tutorial. First thing I'm gonna do is use my Pixi Rose Caviar Essence. This cream is my current favorite. I always used to use the Rose Ceramide, but now I've been using this one. And this has a beautiful like reddish tone, and as you apply you get this pink look kind of on your face. It's just beautiful and it feels amazing. The next thing, I was actually trying to prime my lids with some matte concealer, and the shade I was using is actually in shade medium, but I realized for a makeup like MakeupbyAlinna's you need a very completely different kind of concealer for your eyes, and for that reason I switched it to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer. And the reason, because you want the eyeshadow to pop, and I was gonna go with the other one but I realized it's not gonna pop. So to make your eyeshadow pop you need a very lighter base, so this is why I've used my Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer, and I believe they only come in one shade. So using my beauty blender, I'm going to blend that into my skin. So now what I'm doing here is I'm just applying some Scotch tape and making sure that it aligns with the end of my eyebrows, because if you look at the MakeupbyAlinna's photo, her eyeshadows are very elongated. It's kind of like all the way, to the edge of the eyes, almost reaching the end of her eyebrows. So the first shade that I'm using is called, well, you know what, my bad. They don't have any shades here, but this is by Pop Beauty. I actually received this palette, so this brand was very kind enough to give me this palette a long time ago. I finally managed to use this palette for this makeup look, and I was extremely happy with the outcome. And honestly, I think I'm going to use this on my client as well, because the glitters are bomb, and you will see what I mean by the end of it. The next step that I'm doing is Cherry Skies. This is a NYX Liquid lipstick that I've applied on my eyes right now, which is going to be like my base for the eyeshadows, because as you know, MakeupbyAlinna is known for bold, deep colors eyeshadow. Of course, it's a little bit of editing there, but a lot of it is also real life things. So you can see we need to make our colors look as intense as possible. The eyeshadow that I'm using, the palette is by Morphe, and this is their 353 Fierce by Nature palette. This is their version for, third version for their 350 palette. So the colors are very straightforward. I am showing the colors to you on the screen, and as you can tell, we kind of want that elongated look, so we're gonna have to work on the outer and then work towards the inner. The color that I'm using right now is kind of like a reddish shimmery shade, which is also going to be like the base for the next step, which is the glitters. And as you can tell, I'm being very careful with how I shade it, and the way you place your brush and the way you hold them is gonna be the way to kind of create that look. Now this is very interesting. I didn't have to do this, but I am gonna do this because I don't want to put glue on my eyes, so you can always use a lip gloss. The lip gloss that I'm using is by Rimmel, and this is their Lip Art Glitter. So it already has a little bit of glitter, but it is their liquid lipstick, so it's not like a crazy amount of glitter. Again, I'm going back to my Pop Beauty. This is their red glitter, and look how much it picked up. It's a lot. So I'm just now going to dab it exactly on top of this lip gloss, so everything goes beautifully and blends in perfectly. Here I'm just blending it together. I'm going to do the other eyes and I'll be right back. So this is how it looked, guys. I'm going to pull the Scotch tape and you're going to see it. Ta-da! Now look how sharp and neat that looks. Time for my eyebrows. For that, I'm going to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow pomade. This is in the shade medium brown. Now, if you guys don't know, MakeupbyAlinna actually got really popular through the way she does her eyebrows, and she always used to use Anastasia Beverly Hills, and Anastasia Beverly Hills actually posted one of her photos, and she just overnight went from a few hundred followers to thousands of followers. So Anastasia is actually one of those brands that worked closely together with MakeupbyAlinna. What I'm doing here is clearly visible. I'm just taking spoolie and kind of going upwards, making sure my inner corners of my eyebrows are more, you know, sparse and kind of brushed out so they don't look too dark. And taking my NC medium shade concealer from the concealer palette, I'm just going around the eyebrows, making sure there's a border, so when I apply my foundation, it doesn't ruin it. For foundation, I'm using two shades. One is number 18, which is called Sand, and the other one I believe is called Tea. These two shades together is a perfect shade. As you can tell, I have hyperpigmented areas. For those areas, I'm using the shade that matches those areas, and then I have the highlighted areas, which matches my highlighted areas on my face. Now, when you are doing a crazy eye makeup look, it's very important that your base stands out. The base of the face is also very important, almost as much as important as your eye makeups are. So now that as you can tell, actually I'm pretty impressed by the foundation shade because it matched my skin very nicely. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna contour. For that, I'm using, again, Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm gonna be using a lot of Anastasia for this makeup look, particularly because MakeupbyAlinna loves it too. This is in the shade Chestnut. This is their stick foundation, and I'm basically doing my usual drill, which is to contour the parameters of my face. And using a Real Technique brush, I'm going to blend that all over the face. But make sure when you're blending it, you keep it within the parameters of the contour zone, and you don't interfere with the highlighted areas. So when I say all over the face, doesn't mean it's all over the face. I'm just going to contour that on the contouring areas. And I'm actually, it's been quite a long time. I haven't done a lot of cream contouring, to be honest, because cream contouring is a very heavy kind of base, and we usually do that for brides, because brides does a lot of flash photography, and for flash photography you want to do cream contour because sometimes powder gets washed away with flash photography. The cream product is what stays. So you know, there always is a good balance between a powder product and cream product when doing flash photography or bridal. But when you do makeup like this on YouTube or daily, especially myself, I don't use a lot of contouring cream. The next step that I'm doing right now is I'm using my favorite concealer. This is the Age Rewind concealer, and this is by Maybelline, and the shade I'm using, it's called Neutralizer. And I use a teeny tiny bit, as you can tell. It's very little, and using my beauty blender, I'm blending it right underneath my eyes to make sure everything looks very clean and bright underneath my eyes. Now, taking my Anastasia Beverly Hills Banana Loose Powder. This is not a translucent powder, this is just a loose powder, and it is in the shade Banana. I'm now going to place it all over the highlighted zones, and especially underneath my eyes and around my mouth. The brush that I'm using for this one is actually by Inglot, and it is in the number 4SS. Alright, so the next one is using some face powder. For that, I'm using my Naked Medium Dark Powder by Urban Decay. As you can tell, this powder has hit the pan a lot, and I think it will still go on for another 6 months the way I'm using, but it's one of my favorite powders just because it matches my skin tone so nicely, and it is also for some reason not as heavy as the Studio Fix powder. It's a little lighter than the Studio Fix. Now for my highlight, for my inner corners, I'm using the Amrezy highlighter by Anastasia Beverly Hills. So as you can tell, I'm using quite a lot of this highlighter on my inner corners and my brow bone. Of course, it makes sense because Makeup by Alinna's makeup is no joke. They are very detail oriented, and the way she does her makeup definitely shows on the camera, so already you can tell that whatever she's doing, she knows exactly how much makeup is needed for the camera to catch, and that's exactly what we are trying to achieve with this today's makeup look. And it's quite on the heavier side because, let's face it, Instagram makeup looks great on cameras. It's really good for cameras, and a lot of makeup artists and I agree on that when you want to do a makeup that looks exactly like the Instagram photos, it's a lot of makeup. It's not as simple as it looks like. It's a lot going on. So of course it is gonna be a lot heavier, and there's gonna be a lot of minor details that matters to this look. Now for my waterline, I'm using this kohl pencil in 05 by Inglot. For my mascara, I'm using Snapscara by Maybelline. And this is like one of my current favorite right now. So for eyeliner, I'm using NYX Eyeliner. This is their NYX Liquid liner. And I want to make sure the eyeliner looks as thin as possible. That way you're not ruining the shades that you have created. And so that, you know, the red kind of pops through the eyes when it's open and not just when it's closed. So the eyeliner has to be very like skinny and thin. And I also did the inner corners. I made them look a lot sharper so it looks like a long eyeliner. And then I'm using my velour lashes. Velour lashes are my favorite, honestly, and I think I've got good 15 wears out of them, but I'm still pushing it and I'm still trying to wear it for more. For powder contour, I've used the Fawn and Havana together, and for that I've used my Anastasia Beverly Hills contouring powder. What I'm doing here right now is I'm just going to go over the entire glue with my NYX Liquid liner. I just hit my lashes with it, so I had to rub it off my lashes. But yeah, basically I'm just kind of going over my glue just so that it doesn't show. To set everything in place, I'm going to use my Morphe makeup setting spray. Now for my highlighter, I forgot to show it off to you guys. This is actually the highlighter I'm using. It's by Ratch Loves by Pixi. This is a Pixi highlighter, and the two shades that I've used, it's called Tea and Clutch. I have mixed them up together to get this highlighter look. I have to say, this highlighter was bomb. It's creamy, it doesn't have shimmer in it, not shimmer, it doesn't have glitter in it, so there's no glitter particles, it's just pure shimmer, and I love it. There's no glitter, so there is no reflex when you do flash photography and stuff. This is perfect, and the way it looks on my skin, it was just like a cream blending into my skin. I will definitely post all of these product details on the description box for you guys to have a look. If you're interested to see more what this highlighter looks like, do press the link below on the description box where it actually says where it actually says powder highlighter, not cream, sorry, my bad, powder highlighter. To make sure everything looks a little more subtle than, of course, compared to Instagram, I actually had to use a beauty blender to kind of blend it down a little bit. Alright, for this makeup look, the blush was a very difficult one, I will have to say. The first blush that I tried applying, it's called Delicioso Pink by Milani, which was pinky, and I didn't want to continue that because it's too pink, and MakeupbyAlinna had a peach, like a dark peachy tone. So I went for the Burnt Pepper by MAC Cosmetics. The one I'm using right now is the Burnt Pepper by MAC Cosmetics, and as you compare them to, you can tell she has a lot going on with the blush. My blush is still not like her yet. With my naked eyes, it looks good, but when I looked into the camera later, I thought it wasn't great enough. For my lip liner, I'm going to be using Vino first by MAC Cosmetics. And for my inner part of my lips, I've actually used Caramello by Stilla. Caramello by Stilla. And I saw there was a huge difference between the liner and the inner part of my lips, so I tried to do the outer parts with something called Ashton, liquid lipstick called Ashton by Anastasia. And what it is basically doing is it's marrying the colors together. So of course, when you're trying to recreate somebody's look, like I try to look for all the product details, it wasn't listed on her photo, so I actually had to do some trial errors to get the correct shade. So the 3 colors that I've used so far is actually called Caramello and Ashton, and I've used Vino for my lip liner. Now here I thought the look was still going on pretty strong, but I still think that one thing was missing, and I'll tell you in a bit what was missing. But this is what it actually ends up looking like, right? Now after I placed this photo next to my face, I could tell the eye makeup was on point. I could tell everything else was on point. Clearly her photo has a little bit of higher contrast, like you know when you post photos on Instagram, she increased the saturation and contrast a little bit more, but I could definitely see myself the blush is little. So the blush that I'm using right now is actually called Raisin by MAC Cosmetics, and after I've used this blush, the look came together. So this was the final look of the makeup look after I've kind of, you know, put the picture next to my face and kind of saw what it looks like. I hope you guys actually enjoyed this tutorial. This was quite fun and I would say challenging for me, because when I was doing this makeup look, I literally had to take out every single makeup in my drawers to see what matches this makeup look and if I can achieve the similar look like hers. But it was completely challenging and I loved it, and I love recreating this makeup look. If you guys happen to recreate this makeup look, do tag me and tag MakeupbyAlinna, because the sole creator of this makeup look is her. I love the way how it turns out. However, I think I'll be a little scared to go out with this makeup look because it still is quite dramatic. But yeah, if you have enjoyed this makeup tutorial, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel, guys. And also hit the bell icon so you get notified every time I post a video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you next time. Till then, take care.